War! Stop war! Stop war! Stop war! Stop war! Stop war! Stop war! Stop!
Peace for Ukraine or you reign now. Russia, just go home.
In a letter to respected COP21 world leaders in Paris, France in 2015, Supreme Master Ching Hai urgently advised them to implement vegan law as the solution to mitigate global warming. The letter reads as follows. Respected COP21 world leaders Paris, my special salute and best wishes to all of your distinguished, honoured ladies and gentlemen who have gathered in Paris for the protection of our world. This is just a reminder that just paying money alone cannot save lives, but being vegan does. A lot of evidence and information about this for you to consider are in the book From Crisis to Peace, free online at crisis2peace.org. Countless lives in the present and future, including yours and your children's future, children of your children's, are in your hands. Save them by voting for and implementing vegan law to stabilize the climate. Otherwise, lives on Earth will perish and we will be committing a graver offense than all the acts of killing and wars combined. With all love in God, yours most sincerely, Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Vegan.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
We have flooded the world with antibiotics, and bacteria are quickly becoming immune to everything we throw at them.
We know that there's a very tight link between the tonnage, not milligrams as in human, but tonnage of antibiotics used in agriculture and the emergence of resistance.
Pharmaceutical pollution and superbugs, a threat to humanity. Part 1 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Vegan leader, victorious leader.
We must fight harder, we must fight smarter. We must urge nations, including our own, to pass and strengthen animal protection laws and enforce them. It's not food! It's torture! 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 Blood on your hands! Stop the dog meat trade! Blood on your hands! Stop the dog meat trade! Blood on your hands! Stop the dog meat trade! 1, 2, 3, 4! Open up the cage door! 4, 6, 7, 8! Break the locks and liberate! 1, 2, 3, 4! Open up the cage door! 5, 6, 7, 8! Smash the locks and liberate!
Shekoli gentle viewers, that's how you say hello in the Oneida language. My name is Cody. The nature-loving Oneida people wish that God's blessings will be showered upon you like gentle rain, nourishing your soul and bringing you everlasting joy. Welcome to our show, Pharmaceutical Pollution and Superbugs, a Threat to Humanity, Part 1 of 2. We are facing a worldwide crisis. The World Health Organization, or WHO, declared it one of the top 10 global public health threats facing humanity. The United Nations, or UN, estimates that by 2050, it could kill 10 million people each year, making it more lethal than cancer. What is this crisis? It's antimicrobial resistance, or AMR.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses. No more hurting. No more murdering them to eat, to lab test, or for any reason at all. Be vegan. Make peace. So be it.
On today's program, we'll learn more about AMR and discover why it's become a severe global health threat. First of all, what are antimicrobials? Antimicrobials are drugs or medicines used to treat infectious diseases in humans and animal people. They include all types of antibiotics, antivirals, antifungals, and antiparasitics. Antimicrobial resistance, or AMR, occurs when the bacteria, viruses, fungi, or parasites that cause the infectious diseases mutate over time and become resistant to the existing drugs. AMR makes infections much harder to treat while increasing the risk of spreading disease and even death. According to the WHO, many existing pathogens have acquired new resistance mechanisms in recent years. Consequently, infectious diseases formerly easily treated with existing drugs are becoming increasingly hard to cure. Some examples of these ailments are tuberculosis, Clostridium difficile, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, or MRSA, gonorrhea, and pneumonia. The WHO further states that a global rise in new superbugs that are already resistant to our current medicines is occurring. As a result, antimicrobial resistance has become a global concern. A recent study published in the British medical journal The Lancet estimates that in 2019, approximately 1.2 million people globally died from antimicrobial-resistant infections. This number represented more deaths than were caused by malaria or HIV or AIDS. In addition to causing more deaths, experts believe that AMR will also affect the global economy, resulting in more frequent and prolonged hospitalizations, increased healthcare costs, higher costs for second-line drugs, and higher losses in productivity. The International Federation of Pharmaceutical Manufacturers and Associations, or IFPMA, estimates that antimicrobial resistance could cost as much as $100 trillion between now and 2050. And the UN estimates that by as early as 2030, antimicrobial resistance could force up to 24 million people into extreme poverty. The growing number of drug-resistant infectious diseases is especially concerning for healthcare professionals. Dr. Gillian Lang, former chief executive of the UK's National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, or NICE, explains.
If we do nothing, I think we are going to be in big trouble with infections that we now think of as relatively minor, having no options in terms of treatment. So we really do have to do as much as we can to protect the effective drugs that we have at the moment.
Make peace now. Your gifted life, has it been in vain? Do something now in deep repent. Just go enjoy all your privilege. Pray God and to even hell devils to spare you pain.
What is causing this ever-increasing number of AMR pathogens? Many experts agree that it is due to the massive overuse of drugs, particularly antibiotics, by humans and animal people.
We have flooded the world with antibiotics, and bacteria are quickly becoming immune to everything we throw at them. It's already getting more difficult to treat infections like E. coli, pneumonia, and tuberculosis. So how have we managed to so massively overuse antibiotics? Doctors are prescribing more antibiotics than ever before, and in many countries they are easily available over the counter. But humans using antibiotics is not the biggest problem. The main culprit? Animal agriculture.
We know that there's a very tight link between the tonnage, not milligrams as in human, but tonnage of antibiotics used in agriculture and the emergence of resistance.
Vegan. Good doctors recommend.
Thoughtful viewers, we'll pause now for the following message. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.
Russia, go home.
Welcome back to our program, Pharmaceutical Pollution and Superbugs, a Threat to Humanity, Part 1 of 2. Recently, the number of drugs entering the Earth's waterways and causing pharmaceutical pollution has become a growing concern. When pharmaceuticals, especially antibiotics, are ingested by humans or animal people, many active ingredients pass through the system unaltered and are eliminated through bodily waste. In many instances, this drug-filled waste, especially from animal people factories, can flow untreated into waterways. Even when it passes through a wastewater treatment facility, some drugs remain in the water because most facilities are not designed to completely filter out pharmaceutical chemicals. As a consequence, many drugs have been accumulating in global waterways.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. Pakistan is one of them. Pakistan, Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1890. Physical forms of abuse or otherwise subjecting an animal person to unnecessary pain or suffering are prohibited. Subjecting animal people to starvation, thirst, overcrowding, or ill treatment is forbidden. Sanctions include fines and imprisonment for up to 3 months for certain offences. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses. No more hurting. No more murdering them to eat, to lab test, or for any reason at all. Be vegan. Make peace. So be it.
A recent study called the Global Monitoring of Pharmaceuticals Project examined the current level of drug pollution in Earth's waterways. Coordinated by Dr. John Wilkinson, PhD from the University of York. The project was the most extensive and most comprehensive study of pharmaceutical pollution ever conducted, involving a team of 127 scientists from 86 different international institutions. Researchers measured the concentration of 61 active pharmaceutical ingredients, or APIs, in 258 rivers in 104 countries. Many of the study's findings were deeply concerning. For example, the scientists discovered that 43.5% of the sampled rivers contained harmful levels of drugs. The areas with the highest levels of pharmaceutical pollution were Lahore in Pakistan, La Paz in Bolivia, and Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. The only 2 areas in the world with no drug pollution were Iceland and an indigenous village in Venezuela, where no modern medicines are used.
Be veg now. God gives us all free will to choose between good and evil, in gladness and woe. Please give others only gladness. The woe we spell as in who?
One of the concerns about pharmaceutical pollution is how it affects aquatic life. The study discovered that more than a quarter of the rivers sampled contain at least one pharmaceutical drug whose concentrations exceeded the safe limit for marine life. Dr. John Wilkinson explains, "We've known for over 2 decades now that pharmaceuticals make their way into the aquatic environment where they may affect the biology of living organisms. The effects of drugs on aquatic life are still not completely understood. However, some research has shown that pharmaceuticals can reduce fish people's reproduction rates, cause behavioral changes, and even alter their heart rates." How prevalent are drugs in fish folk? In a year-long study of Florida redfish people, researchers from Florida International University, or FIU, discovered dangerous levels of drugs in the majority of the fish individuals tested. More than 50% had flecainide, an antiarrhythmic medication, tramadol, and opioid pain medication in their systems. In another study done in the Florida Keys, USA researchers discovered an average of 7 different kinds of drugs in the systems of bonefish folk. They also found pharmaceuticals in shrimp and crab people. Meanwhile, in a study conducted in Ontario, Canada, scientists found that drug pollution can even alter the sex of fish people.
There's something happening to the rainbow darter, a tiny fish that lives in the rivers of southern Ontario. If they're downstream from a sewage treatment plant, the male fish turn into females.
If you expose them to wastewater, they will feminize. They will have eggs in the testes.
What's causing the males to develop eggs? Human hormones, residue from prescription drugs that are flushed into the river.
Russia, leave Ukraine or Ukraine now. Peace be with you too.
Pharmaceutical pollution also has a dangerous impact on humans. In the global monitoring of pharmaceuticals project, antibiotics were found in many of the Earth's waterways. Study coordinator Dr. John Wilkinson said, in 19% of all of the sites we monitored, the concentrations of antibiotics exceeded the levels that we'd expect to encourage bacteria to develop resistance. When bacteria develop resistance to drugs, it creates a global health risk for the outbreak of infectious diseases. Dr. Wilkinson warned, the World Health Organization and UN and other organizations say antimicrobial resistance is the single greatest threat to humanity. It's a next pandemic. According to the study results, South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa have the highest levels of pharmaceutical pollution. Researchers also noted that these areas have the highest number of deaths due to antimicrobial resistant pathogens. They concluded that the pharmaceutical pollution of rivers must be contributing to an increase in AMR bacteria. What concerning news, global scientists? We pray that these issues are quickly resolved as people shift to the healthy, life-saving vegan lifestyle. For more information on the Global Monitoring of Pharmaceuticals project, please visit globalfarms.org.
The great harm of meat eating is that the flesh of the animal records the feeling of fear it experiences when killed. The venerated enlightened master, Saint Germain, vegetarian.
Precious viewers, thank you for your company today. Please join us on Monday, August 28th for Pharmaceutical Pollution and Superbugs, A Threat to Humanity, Part 2 of 2. Up next is Oliver Petrovich, vegan, founder of Skatistan, Part 2 of 2. May all beings soon enjoy excellent health, long lives, and quick spiritual upliftment in a peaceful vegan world.
In a letter to respected COP21 world leaders in Paris, France in 2015, Supreme Master Ching Hai urgently advised them to implement vegan law as the solution to mitigate global warming. The letter reads as follows. Respected COP21 world leaders Paris, my special salute and best wishes to all of your distinguished, honored ladies and gentlemen who have gathered in Paris for the protection of our world. This is just a reminder that just paying money alone cannot save lives, but being vegan does. A lot of evidence and information about this for you to consider are in the book From Crisis to Peace, free online at crisis2peace.org. Countless lives in the present and future, including yours and your children's future, children of your children's, are in your hands. Save them by voting for and implementing vegan law to stabilize the climate. Otherwise, lives on Earth will perish and we will be committing a graver offense than all the acts of killing and wars combined. With all love in God, yours most sincerely, Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Vegan.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/PE.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/PE.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/PE.
Unsere Sendungen bieten viele Sprachen. Gehen Sie auf suprememastertv.com/schedule und suprememastertv.com/PE.